feel like these TikTok girlies will continue to lie to us. Hi dolls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Naledi and thank you for joining us on today's video. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much for the love. Please do not forget to like, to comment and to subscribe to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fragrance video. I'm going to be rating and giving my honest opinion on 3 Arabian fragrances or Middle Eastern fragrances that I have in my collection. These purchases were highly influenced by TikTok. So basically in this video, I'm just going to be sharing if these fragrances were worth the hype or not. So if you want to see how this video goes and hear my honest opinion, please keep on watching. So the first fragrance in this video definitely had to be the famous Yara. This is what it looks like and it is from the house of Lattafa. It comes in this sort of triangular bottle and basically this is what the lid looks like. This is the fragrance. This was so overhyped on TikTok that I honestly had to get my hands on this. It was like described as a sort of strawberries and cream kind of scent. Some people compared this to like a milkshake, strawberry milkshake smell. So that is honestly such a girly smell, and I feel like the way that it was given to us or overhyped, like you honestly, like there's a very few people that were able to miss the Yara bag, but it honestly bit a lot of us. To me, the first fragrance that came into my mind when I smelled this is a fragrance that I've not even smelled in like 10, maybe even 15 years. If you're born in the 80s or the 90s, you probably know the perfume that I'm about to talk about. One of your aunts probably used it, your mom probably used it, or you even used it yourself, and that is the exclamation fragrance. I will try to include a picture on the screen. That is the first fragrance that came into my mind. I don't know how, because I've really not smelled that in a very long time, but I didn't get that strawberries and cream. Well, I do get a lot of the cream and powderiness in this fragrance, but it's not what the girlies said it would be. And I feel like this is not a bad fragrance, but because it was sold to us as this strawberries and cream, as this strawberry milkshake, like we were kind of disappointed when, and I say we because I'm not the only person, there are a lot of people that actually are or were disappointed by this fragrance. This to me does not even give any type of berry scent or a berry smell. And like I did say, this is not a bad fragrance, but it's also not a fragrance that is like something that I would like. But I honestly don't want to offend people that love the Yara fragrance, because it does have a lot of lovers and supporters or fans, but I honestly, like, I really don't know. And I feel like these TikTok girlies will continue to lie to us and they'll get away with it because it will be like our pH levels are not the same, so it might not smell or perform the same way that it would on your skin as it would on another person's skin. But honestly, I mean, it's still not the best smelling fragrance in the air or the clothes. And at one point, I feel like people will start telling us that the quality of your air will dictate how your perfume smells like, or the quality or the material of the clothing or your clothing will tell you or dictate how your fragrance smells like. But at this point, I feel like that is what the girlies used to always like get away with. So I'm not going to be taking away from what the girlies said about this fragrance, because at the end of the day, we all don't like the same smells or scents. That's why there are thousands and thousands of fragrances out there. But personally, I feel like it's not like, the fragrance does not smell like what was being sold to us, in my opinion. It is a good fragrance, like I said, nothing that I would go for personally. I feel like what I would give this fragrance props for though is basically the performance and how long this lasts on my skin. And this is also a debate because a few people say that this does not last on their skin, it does not perform well. But in my case, this honestly lasts so long on my skin and my clothes, because I literally put this today and I will smell it 2 days later. But that does not work in my favor because, like I said, this is not a fragrance that I'm really fond of. This is a fragrance that I have in the past used to go to the gym, and I will continue to use as a gym fragrance because I literally put this when I go to the gym for an hour, and when I am back I shower again. So that's like, I literally just have this for an hour. It's not a fragrance that I would use as an at-home scent because that would literally be the only fragrance that I smell throughout the entire day or the next few days. So basically, I mean, I did spend my money, so I am gonna use up the fragrance, but I feel like this for me will only work as a gym fragrance or a gym scent. I have tried multiple times to like this fragrance, but I don't know what it is about it. It's just not a fragrance that I would go for. It is a very girly and powdery sweet fragrance, but I don't know, it's just not for me. Maybe it's a note in the fragrance that does not work with the notes that I personally like, but I don't know, I just can't get myself to like this fragrance. So I'm gonna be rating Yara a 5, and I'm honestly just being nice, probably even a 4, but I'm gonna give it that extra one because of the performance and the lasting power of the fragrance. But when it comes to the smell, I'd honestly just give this a 4. It's just not up my alley. Like, it's not a fragrance that I like. Like I said, different people like different things and different scents, so if it works for you, I'm happy, but it is not, honestly, not giving strawberries and cream, not giving strawberry milkshake, and it's just not a fragrance that I would recommend, not a fragrance that I'm also going to repurchase. So this is the second fragrance in the video. This is actually a fragrance oil, and most of the naming or the branding is written in Arabic, I'd like to believe. So I don't know if this khadlaj is the name of the fragrance or the name of the house. Like, I really don't know. So this is what the bottle looks like, and if you've been around Arabian fragrances or just been following Arabian fragrances, you definitely do know this fragrance. This was described as, so one TikToker described this fragrance as like a woman with her breast out that is being fed fruit. That was the description that was honestly going around on TikTok, and to be honest, I am smiling a bit because I do get why she would say that when it comes to this fragrance. To me, this personally just smells like a bowl of fruit. I don't know if it's the color of the fragrance or the color of the oil, but to me it just gives pineapple. So I honestly would not disagree when, like, I honestly don't disagree with her description. It was a bit explicit and a bit too much, like the TikTokers always do, but I'm afraid this is, like, it's one of the descriptions or the fragrances that I have to agree with. Like I said, this just smells like a fruit, a bowl of a fruit salad, mainly pineapple. Honestly don't know what the notes in this fragrance are, but to me, like I said, it just gives a bowl of fruit, mainly pineapple, and I like this fragrance. I kind of do like this fragrance oil. My only problem with this is that, you know how fragrances have like top notes, base notes, and middle notes? To me, Top notes are bowl of fruit with pineapple, middle notes bowl of fruit with pineapple. The base notes are also giving that. Like, it is such a linear, or like such a simple, like almost too simple fragrance, but I'm not gonna lie, it does smell good. So I feel like the best way to wear this would be to layer it with something. I'm really not good with perfume layering combos. I am honestly new into this fragrance world. Like, I've started just suddenly getting obsessed with fragrances not too long ago, so I'm still not good with pairing fragrances together. But there is a page or an account on Instagram, I think the name is Oh She Smells Good. I will try to leave the handle somewhere on the screen. That is where I get most of my fragrance combos, but I've honestly not seen a combo with this fragrance oil yet. But in my own collection, I think I've tried this with the Jimmy Choo I Want Choo, and I don't know how I felt about the combo. But if you have suggestions of fragrances which I can use to layer this fragrance oil with, please do leave the combos in the comment section below, because this is honestly one of those fragrances that were overhyped on TikTok that I absolutely agree with. I really love this. Like, I'm not crazy about it, but I do love how this smells. So I would honestly rate this about a 7, maybe a 7.5, 7.8, because I absolutely do love this. Another thing that I love with this fragrance is the lasting power as well, and the performance. So obviously, because this is a fragrance oil, I do not put it on my clothes. I just put it on my pulse points, here, probably behind my shoulder, sometimes behind my neck and behind my knees. And I don't know how it gets on my clothes, probably from rubbing at some spots, but I can literally smell this for a good 2 days as well on my clothes or on my skin. This smells absolutely divine. I'd say fruity is the fragrance category that I would put this in. Absolutely love it. Not too sure about the bottle. I feel it's a bit too gaudy. It's too extra, it's doing too much. But overall, I do love the scent and the performance, so that is why I gave it that rating. So that is what we have at our number 2 fragrance. It is this fragrance oil that I'm honestly not too sure what the name is at this point. So the last fragrance in this video is such a bummer. This was literally a slap in the face, because they said this to be a dupe of a fragrance that I absolutely love but can't afford at the moment. They said it was a dupe of Baccarat Rouge, and the fragrance in question is Arabian. This is what the bottle looks like. It has a sort of square-ish lid with a few diamonds, and I believe it is from the house of Lattafa. Yes, so this is the fragrance that is in question, that is said to be a dupe of Baccarat Rouge. Before we even get too deep into this video, I do want to say that I disagree with the word dupe of Baccarat Rouge, but let me just get into details. So I get why someone would say this is a dupe of Baccarat Rouge. Like, so I'm not gonna fight anyone on that, but I feel like dupe is a very big word. Like, they're not even sisters, maybe cousins, but like very distant cousins. Somewhere in the family tree 100 years ago they did relate, so they cousins in that way. Like, the blood is there, a bit of DNA is there, but in today's times they really don't know each other. So they cousins for, I honestly don't know how to describe this. I mean, they are cousins, but not really. But again, like I said, I get why someone would say this is a dupe of Baccarat, especially as I smell it, like, just on the, what do you call it, on the nozzle, or like on the, the sprayer, whatever you call it. So yeah, I get why someone would say this is a dupe of Baccarat. It is a very cheap smelling sister cousin of Baccarat Rouge. Like, the opening of this is very alcoholic, but that quickly fades away. My problem with this is it has this sort of plasticky smell, like smells of burning plastic, like rubber tires. You know when people spin cars, that smell that you get from the friction between the tires and the road. Like, I get a lot of that in this fragrance, and my problem with that smell is that it does not go away. Like, I literally smell that throughout the entire fragrance, which again is not a long time. That's another problem that I have with this fragrance. It does not last long. With the two fragrances that I mentioned before, like, I did not like Yara, but that girl would last on your skin or your clothes. While I prefer, like, I would say that I would tolerate this better than the Yara, even though it smells cheap, but it does not last. So that is another problem with this fragrance. Like, 3 hours, 4 hours is all that you can get out of it. 4 hours is even reaching. 3 hours, I feel, max. And again, I really don't mind this fragrance, especially in comparison to the Yara. I would on any day choose this over the first fragrance that we had on this video. But I'm not gonna lie, it smells cheap. Like, I feel like whatever you do, like, you do have trials before you like finally get your final product. I feel like this is what the OG Baccarat probably smelled like on their first try, but obviously they were not happy because it smelled cheap, so they tried multiple times until they finally got what we have as the Baccarat Rouge right now. So I feel like this could have probably smelled like what their first mixture probably gave them. It's the fact that they also have Rouge on the name of this fragrance. Like I said, it's really not too far off from Baccarat. It's just giving cheaper, like, low cost material, low cost ingredients, but like, it's sort of a 50-50 with this fragrance. I'm not crazy about it, but I honestly don't mind wearing this. I do wear it quite a few times, honestly. Again, it's because I use my money to buy this, so I am gonna use this finished. It's gonna be easier to finish this than the Yara, but this is just a poor quality fragrance. I even feel like the Red Temptation from Zara is way better than this. It is literally 10 times better than this fragrance. So yeah, I'm not disputing the fact that you do get that Baccarat DNA there, because it is there. Like, you cannot fight that. You get the DNA, it's there, but dupe is really a big word. Like, instead of Arabian Rouge, they could have said Baccarat Rouge, like with a H at the end, not Baccarat, like Baccarat Rouge, because they even pushing it to even have the word Rouge on the bottle or as the name of the fragrance. But that's my opinion. Like, I'm not fighting anyone. If you feel like this is, because people say this is the closest dupe to the Baccarat that they've ever smelled, no, this is not it. Again, not a bad fragrance, just smells cheap. And the bottle is a minimal looking bottle, which I am a minimal simple girl, so I do like it. But the excessive glass at the bottom, not sure if you can see it, is just, it's unnecessary and just making the whole bottle heavy. You could have used the funds to make this glass, use the funds to make the quality or the ingredients of the fragrance better, because honestly you did have something going on, like you honestly had something there, but it just needs reformulations. Maybe if they have maybe an intense version, it would get there. Like, you definitely going somewhere with this, but it just smells like a cheap version of baccarat to me. I would rate this I'd say a 5. I'd give it a 6 if it was long lasting, but the smell in general, like the overall fragrance, based on the smell, the packaging, and the lasting power and performance, I'd give this a 5, cause like, again, like, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm not too mad at how this smells like. But I do want you to like know, I want to put it out there that it does have a plasticky, burning plastic tire, cheap smelling thingy going on there, but it's a baccarat nyana. Like, yeah, you could use this if you don't mind smelling like a cheap version of baccarat, but I'm not too mad at it, so I do give this a 5 out of 10. Would have gotten an easy 6 or 6.5 if it lasted long, but of course it doesn't. And that brings us to the end of this video. When it comes to Arabian or Middle Eastern perfumes, I honestly still don't know if, like, I don't know where I stand with the fragrances. My only problem is how TikTokers describe the fragrances to us, and you get it and it's honestly not, it's not what they say it's giving. That's my only problem with the fragrances. But I do still have a few fragrances that I want to try from these Arabian fragrances. One of them is that one that comes in the whiskey looking like bottle. I think the name is Kamra. Don't know if it's Kamra or Khamra. And at this point they released a flanker as well, so the flanker has a bit of coffee, so I'm eager to try both. Honestly, like, I don't know what it would give, but the hype around those are also crazy. I want to try the something far, like, I know the name has a F. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I don't even know the name really, but I've seen it. It comes in a white bottle, has like a sort of gold lid, I think a gold metal lid, and the girlies were saying it smells like alien goddess, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to try that out. I want to try the Bint Haroon, which they said smells like good girl. And then there's another one, I believe the name is Al something gold, or Al Fursan, Al something rose gold. I might just be mixing up the names, not sure, but it comes in a rose gold looking like bottle. People say that also smells good and feminine, so those are the ones that I'm still willing to try. And I feel like after the 5 that I just mentioned, I'll know where I stand with Arabian or Middle Eastern fragrances. For now, it's still sort of a 50-50, so do let me know what you know or have heard of the fragrances that I just mentioned, the 5 that I just mentioned. So if they're good, let me know in the comment section. If you don't think I should waste my money on them and why, do let me know also in the comment section. Yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope I was descriptive in describing the fragrances. Let me know as well if you disagree with the 3 fragrances that I rated today and why. And yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.